You may not think of using acrylic skins to create an abstract work of art, but today on The Well-Educated Artist, I'm going to show you how to create an abstract textural work using acrylic skins that mimics metal. Hi everyone, and welcome to The Well-Educated Artist. We are going to be working with skins again today, but we are going to be using those pieces that you have left over. Now, I work with skins a lot, so I have a lot of pieces left over, but you may just have skins that you have lying around and you're like, what in the world do I do with these skins? Well, I'm going to be showing you some ways you can use skins for abstract artwork, and we're going to be doing a piece of abstract artwork using just pieces of skins. What's great about this project is it doesn't really matter what color your acrylic skins are or what they're made out of, or even if they're a little gnarly. They can be made out of pour paint, they can be made out of bloom paint, or they can be just dried up acrylic paint and water. Whatever skins you have, you can use for this project. That's why it's so great for upcycling your acrylic skins in a creative way. My inspiration today is this skin. Now, I had this piece of skin, it was left over, and it is very metallic, and I love the coppers and the golds and the bronzes in this piece. And I'm like, why can't I make something with my leftover skins that have a metallic feel to them, but not just the skin itself? Now, I didn't have a lot of this, and most of the time, you don't have huge skins unless you make them. You don't have huge skins lying around. So if you have little pieces of skins, what can you do? Well, I do a lot of hole punching with skins, and so I have this whole set of hole punches, and I can put the link for these. These are Bare Boss hole punches down below, and I use them. I have a whole set. They're come in all different sizes, and so I do a lot of hole punches. So I have skins that have hole punches in them, and I always thought these are so cool. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So I have pieces that look like this, and they're just really cool skins. Now, they're cool on their own with their color, but you sometimes have a lot of mismatch. These match, but I get them in all shapes and sizes that have holes in them like this. And I'm like, what can you do with them? Not to mention, I also get lots of these little hole punches that aren't perfect or that I don't like to use for a project. And they might have a little corner missing because when you punch, you might not get them completely round. They may miss because you really need a straight edge to punch. And if you don't have one, you're going to get one that is just imperfect. So I have a lot of these imperfect hole punches, but I don't get to throw them away. So what do you do with them? So I challenge you to use all these leftover crazy skins to make something completely new. As you don't like to throw away your acrylic paint, you don't have to throw away your skins either. And even when they're crazy looking, they can make a whole new piece. Now, if you love color, then you can use your skins just straight out to make colorful pieces. Today, I'm going to show you how to transform your skins into something that looks more like metal. So I'm working on a 12 by 12 canvas here, and I've just divided it into 4 quadrants. I'm going to show you some of the things you can do in each quadrant, and we're just going to make it into a cohesive whole at the end. So I'm going to start by separating out all the different things that I have and kind of seeing and taking inventory about all the different skins that I have. Just kind of put everything into stacks and separate them out into what I have, and now we can begin. So in this quadrant, I'm going to use these. These are my favorite. These are just hole punches, and this one's already been cut to fit here because I was fiddling earlier. I had really long strips of these where I had just taken my hole punch and I punched them out. So I have several of these, and I can put them together to make something pretty cool. I just need to fit them together the way they will work. These all match, so this could be really cool. So this is a quadrant. Now for another quadrant, we may take something like this. These are bigger hole punches. They go around, they should work together. Since we have nothing in the middle, these hole punches do not reach to the middle, so you normally have to go around the edges to punch. So what I'm going to do is just stack some of my skins and put it in the middle. Now, what's really cool about these skins, if you're looking for metal, is anything that is cracked or crazed, like in this case, this is a skin, a very tough skin that has some crazing in it, this is going to be wonderful for your texture. So your crazed skins, this is where you want to use them. Now you can use these hole punches themselves. I had a lot of these larger hole punches, and you can see they're not all perfect, and it doesn't matter because I can just put them on top of each other where they're not perfect, and you still get to see the round. Now I will need some that are actually still round, and we're going to put them down in a design, layering on top of each other. And this one, as you see, it's not perfect, so I'm just going to reuse and recycle these. However I want. Keeping some of these that have a lot of crazing on top because that's just cool. Okay. Now in this quadrant, I'm going to do an intentional design by stacking. And so what I can do is just stack a bunch of them together, and I'm going to glue them all down. Just get them in stacks of varying heights. And that's going to add an interesting texture, but I'm not done. And any of these that have the little corners that are messed up, you can just stick them in the middle or the bottom, and you won't see them at all. So now that I have a design planned out and you can see my process on the white background, I'm going to take everything off and I'm going to prime my canvas. Of course, this project would be great on an old canvas or pour painting that you want to give new life. But since I'm using a new canvas, I'm going to put down a coat of brown and green to build from. I have carefully staged my skin pieces so that I can adhere them fairly quickly to my canvas, and I'll be using diamond glaze. Now, if you want texture to your skins, then use a lot of diamond glaze underneath your skins, and if you want them to lie flat, then you use very little. Adhesives always have the potential to warp your skins. What you see here is just my diamond glaze in a smaller bottle. Once I have glued down all of my skins, then I'm just going to cover my canvas and my skins with a mix of black and brown acrylic paint. If you have trouble getting paint to stick, you can use gesso as a base, but I don't use it here. Once my acrylic skins are covered in dark paint, I use a combination of metallic paints and pigment powders. Now here I am using Folk Art Craft Paint in, I believe it's solid bronze, and I'm also going to be using some glorious gold. And I just dab my paint with a paper towel and I build it in layers. At first I'm using pour paint and then I switch straight from the bottle. I also add some green acrylic paint underneath the copper, so there's a look of oxidation. Now metallic paint in a regal red, I use it for the rusty undertones, all trying to mimic the idea of old metal. If the colors get too bright, then I just tone it down with some of my darker paint and take it down a notch. The Glorious Gold adds a nice contrast to the bronze and copper look. It almost makes it look like coins. What I found had the most impact were these Let's resin pigments. These are metallic pigments that actually have metal in them. They will actually oxidize. I've tried to use them in some of my bloom paints and they don't work really well because they do oxidize. But they're beautiful here. You're going to see a huge impact when I put them on. I do put on a mask to protect myself from these pigments here, but they are really awesome metallic pigments. And you can just see how vibrant they are here. And I'm trying to protect the hole somewhat. I'll probably have to go back and add a little bit of dark paint for the contrast because these are incredible for really being saturated in luster, I would say. They're not exactly color, they're definitely lustrous. I tend to take it off and then put it back on until I get the look I want, mixing my different metallic pigments. I find that Viridian and a yellow green make a really good oxidation for some of my rounder pieces. So it's kind of like copper that has been put out in the air. Do you think of maybe a copper penny and how it turns? I also add in a little bit of faux work and a few pieces of skins that I have painted with metallic paint. And here we have it. Now I had enough acrylic skins to do more than one piece for a bigger impact, and one of them even includes some UV resin mixed with some of my metallic pigments. So sky's the limit with what you can do with these. Does it look like metal? Let me know in the comments below. And let me know what you're doing with acrylic skins. If you want more acrylic skins ideas, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and of course, leave a comment. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye now.